In honor of one of our former colleagues, let's get this show on the road. This is the Winnetka Village Council regular meeting for September 16th, 2025. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and let's mute our cell phones and other electronic devices so we don't interrupt. I just got a text message. We've got business to do, whoever sent that text message to me. I'll ask Rob to do a call for attendance.
Trustee Myers.
Here.
Trustee Apatow is absent. Trustee Dahlman.
Here.
Trustee Orsick.
Here.
Trustee Alvinson.
Here.
Trustee Handler.
Here.
President Dearborn.
Here. I'd like to ask Manager Bayhan to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
That may have been the best pledge in the last 9 years. Okay. Rob, can we do a quorum check?
certainly. The month of October looks very busy for you all. Mine won't be so busy, but we're looking at October 7th, the 14th, and the 21st for council meetings. Are there any conflicts? Okay. And then the all-day budget session on October 30th. All good?
You're coming back for that?
We'll see.
Great.
Okay, thank
Great,
you.
Thank you. At this point in the meeting, we'll ask for public comment and ask for anyone in the audience who'd like to speak about an item not on tonight's agenda. Would anyone like to speak on an item not on tonight's agenda? Mr. Kripe.
Just briefly, I just wanted to thank you all. My kids sent me here to thank everyone who assisted with the flag planting. It was another success. Thanks to the fire department, the police, and everybody who came out. So next year's the 25th anniversary, so we'll probably have some sort of thing to recognize that next year. Thank you all.
Thank you, Andy. That was wonderful. Went by the Village Green. It was really beautiful. Thank you to your family. All right, reports. Let's start with trustee reports. We'll start at the far end. Trustee Handler. No report. Trustee Alvinson.
No report.
Trustee Orsick.
No report.
Trustee Myers.
No report.
Trustee Dahlman.
No report.
No report. Village Attorney.
No report tonight.
Village Manager.
I have at least a half an hour, but no report.
No
this evening.
report. Well, I have a report, and I'm going to supplement it with one of our key staff members to give a few comments. I just want to report on the work that was done down at the Elder Lane, Elder Beach outfall. Recall that we have a stormwater pipe down there that was in pretty bad repair, and it was in terrible repair. I actually went down there, and Jim Bernal gave me a tour. Kristen was there as well. It was really awful, broken up. Who knows when it broke up? We don't know when it was broken up. Maybe it was 30 feet out, whatever, and then another 50 feet was not functional. And we had DeMayo Brothers, who many of you know, our contractors. They were going to repair that pipe. In the face, quite honestly, of a few noisy skeptics in the community that said that pipe could not be repaired. And I would like Jim Bernal to come up and explain exactly what our contractor did, what the staff did, and how we navigated this really significant challenge.
Sure. I appreciate the opportunity, and I think when you and Kristen were down there, that putting your head in and seeing the actual effects and the working conditions, it really highlighted the difficult space that the contractor had to work in, and it was a challenge. When we originally anticipated replacing this pipe, the sand levels out in the lake were much lower. And then shortly thereafterwards, we had those significant rains, and the sand really built up along the pipe. We had to pivot and go from what we thought could be a removable, just to simply slip out and reinsert process. We had to pivot, and we wound up using a hydrojetting system that was designed to push the sand away without affecting the pier at all. It was a way to keep the work environment safe. It was quite tight in there, so we were able to get the sand away, remove the pieces. We were able to bring a small backhoe on top of the pier to pull the pieces out safely. And then once we got them removed and the sand was pushed back, we had to wait a little bit longer than we anticipated, so the schedule got pushed. And, we worked with the Park District to modify the MOU to give us a little bit more time. And then we waited for the good conditions, came back, reinserted the pipe. That first piece of pipe was really the hardest part. It took a lot of grit and can-do spirit from our contractor to start to think outside the box to be able to pull that pipe in. And once we made that first connection, we were able to get the rest. It slipped in as we anticipated, and it was a tough job. It was a tough job, but we were able to do it. And I mean, hats off to the contractor and to everybody that kind of thought outside the box to really do this. At this point right now, the work is completed. We have all the equipment off of the beach area. We're working on just a minor little thing. We've finished some restoration work. We should be off of the parking lot there this week, have an asphalt patch and restripe it, and then reopen it back to the high school students that have graciously allowed us to stage some of our equipment there. We appreciate their working with us on that. And then once that's completed, we'll have full restoration of the beach as far as the work that we had planned for it. The next item for us is to get a structural engineer in working with the Park District. We agreed to have a structural engineer, third-party one, to come out. We're working on putting that short list together. We'll work with them to select somebody, do an analysis of the pier. We didn't affect the pier in anything that we had done. It was literally slipping it out and putting it back. But we agreed that we would help them do an analysis on it. And so hopefully in the next couple of weeks, that'll be completed, and we'll have that information for them. So it was a all-around group effort for everybody. But it was a tough one.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Now, Jim, estimate, how many feet out, I said 30 feet, was the pipe broken? So the water would be and we don't know when this happened, but the water would be coming down and discharging into the lake at
Right.
30 feet?
So it was where and the water's edge changes a little bit, but it was probably about, I want to say maybe 15 feet into the water where it broke at, but the entire pipe we replaced was in the water. So we had divers that were out there every day in that cold water, moving pieces around and pulling that through. So we replaced about 70 feet of pipe.
70
Yep.
feet. Okay, so now the
Total.
water is going to flow out further into the lake
Correct.
than it had been.
Yep.
Which I think will be good. And again, this is all in the context of resident concern and enthusiasm about opening up Elder Beach and working with the Park District to make that happen.
Yep.
So they cleaned up Centennial. There was a lot in the Centennial and Elder Lake bed that came out not related. Some was related to the pipe, but most was not. A lot of concrete and rebar and all this stuff. They've shown pictures of it. Beach has been cleaned up. The pipe is repaired. And folks, hopefully next spring, next summer, that beach will be open. So that was the spirit of it. But
Yep.
they did a fantastic job, I will tell you. So
No,
thank you, Jim.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you,
okay.
Jim.
All right, we'll move on to item 6, establishment of the consent agenda. Does any trustee wish to remove any item on the consent agenda for a separate vote? Seeing none, may I have a motion to approve the final form of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
And that is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll go on to item 7, approval of the consent agenda. Manager Bayhan will read each item of the agenda.
Thank you. Approval of the warrant list dated August 29th, 2025 to September 11th, 2025 in the amount of $817,117.12. Resolution number R70, waiving competitive bidding and approving a change order with United Door and Dock LLC for police and fire overhead door preventative services. Resolution number R71, 2025, approving a contract with AGAE Contractors for construction of a nursing mother's room at the village's public safety building. And resolution number R72, 2025, approving a second contract extension for interim economic development coordinator services for adoption.
Okay, thank you, Rob. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda by omnibus vote?
So moved.
Second.
And Rob, that's a roll call vote.
Trustee Myers?
Yes.
Trustee Handler?
Yes.
Trustee Albinson?
Yes.
Trustee Orsick?
Yes.
Trustee Dahlman?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move on to item 8, ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number MC06, 2025, amending Title 10 of the Winnetka Village Code regarding electric scooters and other motor-driven vehicles. And this ordinance is being introduced and also could be considered for possible adoption tonight. At the April 9th, 2025 Village Council study session, staff presented information regarding electric bicycles, scooters, and other non-motor-driven vehicles. Tonight, council will consider regulations regarding e-scooters and other motor-driven vehicles. And tonight, we have Chief Brian O'Connell to review the topic.
Thank you, President Dearborn. Good evening, council. Just before we begin, if anybody has any questions about the ordinance, I brought Village Manager Corrali here with me to answer any questions.
Thank you, Glencoe.
So as a summary of last Tuesday's study session, we collected the information that was discussed at that meeting. Staff decided to split this up into two different phases, two different ordinances. So tonight, you'll see the discussion regarding electric scooters and other motorized vehicles. And coming up in the future, you'll see a separate ordinance under the bicycle ordinance in regards to the electric bikes. So briefly, I would just like to touch on the ordinance itself and what we've put together tonight for your consideration. Under definitions, we removed any associated language as it relates to electric bicycles. You'll see that removed from here. We also highlighted the definitions of the electric dirt bikes, electric scooters, and motor-driven vehicles. Under the operations section, we're staying consistent for motor-driven vehicles 16 years old and a driver's license. For all electric scooters 18 years old and a driver's license, this is consistent with Governor Pritzker's signing into law Public Act 103-0899. Also see electric dirt bikes must satisfy the requirements of proper registration, title, and driver's license. That's commonly discussed last time as e-motos. All motor-driven vehicles or approved e-dirt bikes must follow the relevant rules under the Illinois Vehicle Code. Obviously, no speeding on posted signage. They cannot alter or adjust the manufacturer design or speeds of those devices. And then one final requirement there is limitation to one rider, as these devices are designed for solo operation. Under local restrictions, we have it noted as unlawful for anyone to operate these devices on public sidewalks, which you'll also see in the Illinois Vehicle Code as it relates to e-bikes and scooters. I'll get into that later. Green Bay Trail, village-owned parks, parking lots, and bike paths, privately owned parking lots with a village agreement. Under the required equipment, I won't get into the details because they're very similar to bicycles: lights, reflectors, appropriate brakes, etc. But I do want to highlight one. Just for a second, I wish I didn't have to, but if anybody watched the news this morning, we had a tragedy in Arlington Heights regarding a 17-year-old who passed away late last night, early this morning, using an e-bike without a helmet. And he succumbed to that injury late yesterday evening or this morning. So highlighting the use of appropriate equipment and helmets. Under adult responsibilities, we do have that no parent or legal guardian of a minor under the age of 18 may permit the use. And then, of course, finally, citing the penalties as a $100 citation, and we would go into effect immediately. So that is a summary of the invoice in a nutshell, but what I'd like to transition to is the department goals with this ordinance. Like I said, this is phase one of two. Staff has heard the information provided by council during that study session regarding the electric bikes. We're reviewing that and we're putting something together with those considerations. We've taken the time since that study session to evaluate and what I believe to properly prepare an ordinance for your consideration. I plan to partner with the schools, the Park District, on furthering education and communication after, if this is decided upon to go into effect. I plan to implement patrol strategies within our police personnel to engage with minors and parents. Hand out flyers at the schools. Glencoe is a prime example of their efforts, not to joke, but is a prime example of their efforts recently where they're going out and wrapping flyers around scooter handles that bikes that are parked at the school districts. I've had communications with District 36 Superintendent, and she's in support of furthering that communication with the police department. And of course, we would further our communication through the village platform, social media, the police department, social media, and e-newsletters, things like that. And finally, what I'd like to transition to is phase 2 of this when it comes to electric bikes that you'll be seeing soon. You're going to see similar operation restrictions. You're going to see age and driver's license requirements. You're going to see similar location restrictions in regards to, this is an opportunity for us to not only have similar operation and location restrictions, but add requirements of walking your bike in the business district. You're going to see similar equipment, adult responsibilities, and fine language. But what's going to be different? After hearing what your concerns were, I believe that we can develop an ordinance that is based on parental supervision and guardian supervision. We can consider operation of these devices under parental supervision. We can consider them in locations under parental supervision, their use. We can allow for multi-person occupant operation if the bike is designed specifically for tandem use. But I will note a couple things. I am still a very strong advocate for limiting its use on the roadway until age and driver's license is satisfied. I do not believe in putting someone on the roadway at the age of 13 on an electric bike. I believe that there's a level of maturity, a level of responsibility, and even though you can get a driver's license after a certain age without taking the test, or without going to driver's ed school, there is still a process in place to successfully pass a driver's license requirement, acknowledging that someone has believed that you have satisfied the rules of the road or you are aware of the rules of the road. But under parental supervision, I believe that there can be an expectation that parents will do the right thing and that they will supervise their children or those minors appropriately so that we can allow certain uses. So that is what you'll see from me in the coming weeks. I do want to note one thing, though, and respectfully, the conversation that was had during the study session about Class 1, 2, and 3 e-bikes that properly registered and notified on the bicycle, that is correct. But that doesn't mean that's the reality of the bike. When these things began to come out into the public, this is dating myself, but you used to have to plug the device into a USB to alter the speed of the device. Now, on a quick Google search that I did just before this meeting, you can see that you can change the speed from a Class 1 to a Class 2 to a Class 3 to unlimited speed by the matter of the menu in some of these electric bikes. That is why I believe that there needs to be some level of responsibility and maturity when I come back to you in a couple of weeks. That is a real risk. And when you adjust those speeds, they go upwards of 30 to 60 miles an hour. And then we're right back here with equivalent concerns. So that is the end of the presentation, and I appreciate your consideration on this ordinance.
Thank you, Chief O'Connell. Before we open for public comment, any questions for the chief on this issue?
I have a couple quick
Kim?
questions,
Yeah,
if that's okay.
for sure.
Thank you, Chief. That was an excellent summary, and I appreciate and agree with what you're saying. I just want a couple things. It sounds like we did not decide on doing anything with escalating fines. That is just $100 every time, a citation thing. Was there a discussion about that? I'm sorry, I had to miss the study session because
I
I'm out of
don't
town.
think there
Because some
was.
communities had escalating fines so that it did become, because I'll be honest, sometimes in our community, there might be people who don't think $100 is an onerous, or is not sending enough of a message. So we, at this point, we're not considering that, it sounds like, any kind of
No,
escalating fine.
The ordinance says that each violation is for not less than $100. The chief and the prosecuting attorney will have authority to increase those fines above $100.
Oh, okay, so repeat offenders. And just to confirm, it looks like this is effective immediately. Should we approve this tonight, right? Okay, that's great. And then, is there, just in broad policing, is there the ability to, should I say, fine, address riders, so even if they meet all the requirements, are doing some dangerous things like doing wheelies. That's one thing that I've seen a ton of on these e-bikes, doing wheelies down the middle of the street, which, so that isn't necessarily covered, but to me, that's sort of reckless.
So at a high level, to answer your question, it is addressed under Section D.
Oh, okay,
So that is the Illinois Vehicle Code. But yes, egregious behavior are obviously a concern of the police department. Speeding is also is very much related to those types of acts that we're observing in the community. But that behavior on the roadway would be addressed under the Illinois Vehicle Code.
okay, thank you. Those are the questions I had.
Kirk?
Chief, thank you. Appreciate the revision on this. Can you, in layman's terms, just for our benefit, relative to e-scooters, they're not outlawed. It's just that if you're under 18 or between 16 and 18, you have to have a driver's license and have adult supervision.
So correction, the only device that is regulated right now under Illinois law are low-speed electric scooters. What we talked about before is basically a kid's toy, a children's toy. The razors that you see are what is banned and required to be 18 plus a driver's license, okay? Or 18, excuse me. What we're doing is there are no regulations in the state of Illinois regarding any other speed electric scooter. And those are what we're seeing in our community. We're not seeing the dangerous behavior with a razor scooter on the roadway, which is currently banned or regulated, excuse me. We are seeing behavior on the higher powered speed scooters that have no regulations. That is why you're seeing that in the ordinance.
Got it. But we're not outlawing those higher speed scooters per se.
We are not. You have to be 18 with a driver's
18
license.
with a driver's license.
That's correct.
Okay, and then all the other rules about being on a roadway, not on a sidewalk.
The location restrictions are in effect, right,
Okay, thank you.
of course.
Bridget? No? Scott?
Chief, can you talked a little bit about coordination with District 36. Can you talk about communication with the Park District and plans there?
So the Park District, we've had communications as late as today. They currently don't have these regulations in place. Okay, they don't have rules or regulations about this. We specifically designed this ordinance and the language to address village-owned property. It will be the Park District's decision if they decide to implement their regulations as it relates to their property. Okay? We have agreements with the Park District to enforce other things for them. That is certainly an option with this as well, but it is not, they don't have this regulation in place currently. That would be their decision to make at a later date.
Okay.
On that point, Chief, just since we have our friend from Glencoe here, I believe that the Park District of Glencoe came ahead of their council in terms of regulating these vehicles in their parks, I believe. So the Glencoe Park District actually did take action on this,
Okay.
is my understanding, yes. Okay. So,
I was just going to say that. I learned that at the chamber meeting, and so I think, our friends at the Park District could reach out to the friends at Glencoe Park
Yeah.
District for some guidance on that. Only thing I wanted to mention, I mentioned this to the village attorney, is I think there's, when you come back to us with another ordinance for the e-bike discussion, I think a lot of this will turn on the definition of e-bike. Whether you alter the bike, that may change the definition. So I think that's something we can think about. There's an opportunity for us to, really think about that. But I'm glad we're bifurcating it for now, because I think this is just, every day it becomes more and more critical. So thank you for all the work on this.
okay. Why don't we open this up now and ask for public comment from the audience? Would anyone in the audience like to speak to council on this topic? Come on up. Hello there. We get it firsthand here.
Yes. So I'm Elise Gibson. I'm the president of the Winnetka Park District Board. And we are here because we want to be sure that we're working in conjunction with the village on this issue. My reading of the current draft of the proposed ordinance tonight does encompass Park District properties with respect to age limitations. It doesn't with respect to location. So this is relatively new information here to the Park District, and we have been sort of bird dogging it with you guys to make sure that we can have consistent information, and it would be our goal to have consistent signage and so forth, so that throughout the village, not just on Park District properties, but on village properties, we're consistent on this. So we are aware of what Glencoe has done. We're bird dogging that. We've bird dogged that, and also what the village is doing here.
So Elise, what would be are you asking for an adjustment on our ordinance, or?
No, I'm not. I'm
Okay.
just saying that we are, on top of it, I guess. And, we've had lengthy conversations with our council on this, and, we want to be consistent with the village, and so we're kind of watching what happens here. And, whether or not we are more prohibitive, I can't speak to that, but, certainly we want to be, at least equal to the village in terms of restrictions.
Okay, so you are not objecting to this ordinance?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just making village
Yeah.
comment because we were talking about the Park District. It
Yes,
wasn't
we
my
were.
plan to actually even come in front of the village council, but I felt like I
Yeah,
had to say
good.
something.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for that.
All right,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Okay. Anyone else from the public like to speak on this topic? Seeing none, we'll close public comment, bring it back here. The council for any comments, discussion. Down at this end, any further comments, discussion?
All I hear is,
I'm in favor. Like I said last time, I had gone back and forth a little bit because some families are invested, but everything I've heard has just been very positive. I've gotten texts saying, oh, I've heard the village is going to do this, and I misunderstood the tenor, and I'm like, it's open for discussion if people want to come. Oh, no, these people are really glad. And I even had somebody who has kids with the scooters be glad because they think that the scooters are kind of dangerous, and it's easier to say this is just not allowed now.
yeah,
Okay.
on Saturday, I was chatting with a high schooler at the farmer's market, and she was like, yes, please, put something in place. So this isn't just, I'll say, the older adults in town who are looking for this. Everyone is looking for this, so I'm excited we're going to do this.
Kirk, anything?
I'm in favor of what's being proposed as written. I appreciate the bifurcation with the e-bikes. I do believe those should be treated separately and differently, and I think what's being presented tonight's in good taste.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Scott? Tina,
We
anything
waive
else?
introduction and move forward.
Is there an appetite to waive introduction
Yeah.
here and just, okay, why don't everyone agree with that?
Yep.
Okay. Do I have a motion to waive introduction of ordinance number MC06 2025?
So
So-
moved.
Second,
And that's a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance number MC06 2025?
So moved.
second,
And Rob, that's a roll call vote.
Trustee Dahlman?
Yes.
Trustee Handler? Trustee Albinson?
Yes.
Trustee Orsick?
Yes.
Trustee Myers?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, thank you very much. We appreciate it, your sensitivity to this issue. We move on to item,
Hey, Bob, can I ask just a
Sure,
quick
Tina. Yeah.
question? For people who may know we're taking action but will want to look at it, do we usually post these?
we should post this ordinance.
On the ordinance on our kind of, I don't know, we have that front page project list, or is there some way to post it?
We can have a banner on the web.
Yeah, I think that might be helpful.
And will we send out an e-communication on this?
Sure. All that's
Okay.
being planned.
I think we should, yeah, good. Thank you, Tina, for that. All right, we'll move on to item, I think it's 8B. 8B, ordinance number M12, 2025, granting a special use permit for the operation of a financial counseling office within the C2 Commercial Overlay District of the village. And this is at 720 Elm Street, just across the tracks there. This is being considered for introduction, possible adoption. Tonight, council will consider approving a special use permit submitted by the applicant, Charles Schwab and Company, to operate a financial services office. And tonight, we have Community Development Director Scott Mangum to review. Hello, Scott.
Good evening. Thank you, President Dearborn, Village Council. Stated this is a special use request for a financial services office. Charles Schwab is looking to relocate their location from over near the Grand on Green Bay Road into the new One Winnetka building. You're familiar with the location of One Winnetka, but it's shown here on the screen. It is located within the C2 zoning district and also a portion of the building located within the retail overlay district. The location of the proposed office is shown on the screen here. So it would be on the Elm Street facade, the easternmost furthest space, so furthest away from the intersection of Lincoln there. And when the Village Council did grant the plan development ordinance for One Winnetka, it also granted partial approval for certain special use findings for medical and financial services. And this does fall under that financial services category. There were also some location restrictions put in place that were shown here for where those spaces could go, how much square foot of medical and financial could be allowed. The proposed location does meet all those specifications. The proposed floor plan is shown here on the screen. So it occupy about 5,500 square feet with 60 feet of frontage along Elm. The applicant states that there would be a maximum of 12 employees on site, 2 that would be hosts there. This is relatively similar to their operations currently. Office hours would be Monday through Friday from 8:30 till 5. They would have 10 offices and a room with 2 additional workstations. They would also potentially have up to 1 quarterly event. There would be after hours for clients, for client appreciation, guest speakers, and things of that nature. At their current location, they stated that they, on average, see about 30 to 35 clients per day. Most clients spend around 45 minutes in the office. However, there are a number that would just stop in for 5 or 10 minutes. The applicants indicated they have a lease agreement with the ownership group, and the applicant and representative from the ownership group are present tonight, to have 10 parking spaces within that first level of the One Winnetka building. Those are outlined here. That would be customer parking. And then they've stated they would have employees purchase 8 permit spaces and park in permitted locations for a permit, including the adjacent village parking lot. So Plan Commission did consider this at a public hearing on July 23rd. After hearing from staff and the applicant, as well as representatives from the property owner, there was no public comment. Following discussion about parking and the view of the space from the street, the Plan Commission ultimately recommended approval by a unanimous 6-0 vote. So with that this evening, after hearing any potential public comment, the Village Council may wish to either consider waiving introduction of ordinance M12-2025 and consider adoption, or consider only introduction this evening. That concludes the staff presentation. Available for questions.
Okay, any questions for Scott before we move to public comment on this topic? Yeah, Kim?
You have a question. Sure. I saw we were looking at parking, our favorite subject in Winnetka, and I did see in the minutes of the subcommittees that they were addressing that. I just want to confirm that the owner has certainly met all the requirements for the number of parking spaces per square footage, but it sounds like once the building is up and running, they don't have to necessarily assign or reserve the spots. There would be flexibility during business hours for the potential restaurant to be able to use some of those, or if Schwab doesn't need 10, another business could potentially use them. Is that right?
So they've stated they will assign the 10 during business hours, but then after those business hours, so in the evenings when other uses may be busier, then those spaces will be open to the general
They'd have the
public.
flexibility to do that. So to the benefit of our residents, we can make sure that they really can access all the great services in the building. Okay, thanks. That's the only thing I needed to.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Kirk? Any? Bridget? No comments? Bridget? Any questions? No? Scott?
None.
Tina?
Just a quick question. I was doing quick math. It looks like the remaining commercial space that will be available will be close to 15 or 14,000 square feet. Is that about right?
Sounds about right. I don't have that in front of me right now.
It's substantial,
Yeah.
right? So that's, getting to this idea of preserving the overlay, I don't think there's any, it's a lot of commercial space. So I was just wanted to get an idea of how much is left. No question.
No questions? Okay. Okay.
One
Go
question.
ahead,
Do we
Richard.
have
Yeah.
any idea on the middle tenant yet or not?
The applicant may be, or the owner's representative may be able to speak more to that. I know
Okay.
the restaurant at the corner, and then there are other tenants that they've been speaking to.
Would the applicant like to make any comment on this? Come on up and introduce yourself, and we've seen you here before.
Good evening. Deirdre Klein, I'm representing Murphy Development Group, the developer and owner of One Winnetka. So I can speak to it. I know that in prior iterations, we had shown 3 different tenant suites. Given the grade change, we've actually subdivided that, and there are 6 suites now. I think it's public knowledge that we have a lease with Ballyhoo Hospitality for the corner, so they'll be operating a restaurant there. In addition to Schwab, then we have 2 other leases that have been fully executed. One is with Solid Core, which is a Pilates brand, and then another one is with Winnetka Aesthetic Studio. So those 2 will both be, we've made the introduction to staff because those will also be coming before the Planning Commission for a special use.
So how much space, to Trustee Dahlman's question, how much space has been softly leased, and how much is available?
We have leased or are under contract for 90% of the 20,000-ish square feet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
That's
Thanks.
fantastic. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay. Any other questions? We can now open this topic up for public comment. Would anyone in the audience like to speak about the Charles Schwab lease in the One Winnetka building? Seeing none, we'll close public comment, bring it back here. Any more questions, comments up here? No, no? Would you like to waive introduction and so on and so forth? Okay.
So on and so forth.
We'll proceed on that basis. Do I have a motion to waive introduction of ordinance number M12, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
That's a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No? And now may I have a motion to adopt ordinance number M12, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
And Rob, that's a roll call vote?
Trustee Albinson?
Yes.
Trustee Dahlman?
Yes.
Trustee Orsick?
Yes.
Trustee Handler?
Yes,
Trustee Myers?
Yes.
Okay. Congratulations. Thank you. And do we have anything else for tonight? Yes, we do.
No,
I guess we do.
Let's go home.
Okay, so here we are. I think that for those of you who were here for what we're about to address, and not for the e-scooters and not for the Schwab, here we are. And I'd like to read resolution number R69, 2025, the Robert M. Bahan Commendation, and this is being considered for adoption. I'm just going to read this. This is resolution R69, 2025, the Village Council of Winnetka, Illinois, September 16, 2025. Whereas Robert M. Bahan faithfully and diligently served the Village of Winnetka as village manager for 15 years, while also demonstrating exceptional commitment to the community, being only the 7th person to hold the position in 110 years of Winnetka's council manager form of government, working closely with village councils and guided Winnetka through numerous major initiatives that will leave a lasting legacy that significantly improved and contributed to the betterment of our community. And whereas, under his stewardship, Mr. Bahan maintained its tradition of sound financial management, earning awards for excellence in budgeting and financial reporting, made exceptional contributions to the management and development of the village's budget, ensuring that public funds were allocated efficiently and effectively, limiting property tax increases, while also identifying cost-saving measures, obtaining grants in collaboration with key state and federal representatives, securing additional revenue streams for key infrastructure and community projects. And whereas Mr. Bahan secured over $35 million in grant revenue for infrastructure projects, demonstrating his commitment to maximizing available resources for the village, planned and implemented extensive infrastructure improvements, including major road and bridge projects, and extensive utility upgrades, provided oversight of a $4 million renovation of the Winnetka Village Hall, ensuring a modern and efficient space for village operations, collaborated with the Winnetka Park District to gain approval for key community projects, such as the Skokie Playfields project, Dwyer Park renovations, and Hubbard Woods Park improvements, and played a pivotal role with securing final approvals for major campus improvements for New Trier High School in 2015 and 2023. And whereas Mr. Bahan facilitated the development of Winnetka's first stormwater master plan, paving the way for a comprehensive stormwater management strategy, designed and implemented the Winnetka Stormwater Utility System to establish a funding mechanism for the stormwater plan, negotiated and secured approvals for intergovernmental agreements with the Cook County Forest Preserves, New Trier High School, Winnetka Park District, and Winnetka District 36 for community infrastructure improvements, oversaw the implementation of many stormwater improvement projects addressing long-standing and persistent flooding drainage issues. And whereas Mr. Bahan has consistently displayed leadership, dedication, and vision in his role, collaborating with the Village Council, village staff, residents, businesses, and organizations to transform Winnetka into a thriving, modern, and vibrant community, as well as prioritizing the importance of enriching the downtown business districts through the development of the first downtown master plan and economic development program, overseeing the implementation of the streetscape master plan, guiding approval of the Winnetka Futures 2040 comprehensive plan, and approving numerous commercial and residential projects, including One Winnetka, Tala Coffee, and the Chase Bank development, to allow Winnetka to foster sustained growth and ensure its status as a thriving and prosperous community. And whereas Mr. Bahan's calm and steady leadership provided invaluable leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic, ensuring the health and safety of village staff while ensuring the continued delivery of high-quality services to residents, and invested significantly in the development of village staff, cultivating a high-performing department head team that will continue to serve the community with professionalism and dedication. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Village Council, on behalf of the Village of Winnetka and village staff, commends Mr. Bahan's exceptional service, tireless work ethic, and commitment to excellence that has earned him the respect and admiration of the village board, village staff, and residents alike, and extends to him sincere appreciation for his contribution to this village. And be it further resolved that Robert M. Bahan transmits this village greater and more beautiful than it was transmitted to him. From the Village Council of Winnetka, congratulations, Rob, and thank you.
Thank you.
Now, that's a long one and well-deserved to be a long one. First, we're going to vote on it. We're going to vote on it. We're going to vote on it, and then we'll have some comments and so on. So may I have a motion to adopt resolution number R69, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
That's a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, no one's opposed. That passes. And at this moment, I'd like to invite the trustees to offer any, it says parting thoughts, any thoughts to Rob on his last official meeting. And we can start, Scott, why don't we start down there?
Okay, happy to start. You know, it's a long list of accomplishments, and, you know, it's well-deserved. You know, I think the one thing that the resolution misses, oh, look at that. I can't believe. They all got probation for tonight. You know, I think that the resolution maybe doesn't capture is Rob's willingness to take risks, push the envelope. I'll specifically point to the Winnetka Music Festival, which, you know, kind of a crazy idea. Yeah, how hard can it be? And you know, it's only with the dedication that you had and that your staff had that you know, we're now looking at the 10th year of that. So it's the willingness to see the need for new ideas and to push those ideas. And I think that the other thing that is so important in anybody, in any business, is that competence breeds competence, stability breeds stability, respect breeds respect. And I think that what you have shown throughout your career is reflected in who you hire and the length of service that they had, and the willingness of people to volunteer, because it's only in an environment where you feel you can get something done and you feel you can be respected that people are willing to volunteer. And in our structure of government, right, you need a village manager who respects the volunteers, respects their staff, provides the leadership, and that's something that, while not captured here, I think is probably your greatest talent, Rob.
Thank you, Scott. Tina?
Well, that was so eloquently said. And I think that's really true. I work in a lot of different jurisdictions in the Illinois area and across the country, working with lots of different village managers and village staffs. And I've always said, we've got a room full of great village managers here, and they're colleagues and friends of yours, but I think we're really lucky because I think we've got some of the best in the best. You're so calm and professional, but I do like, I was thinking of the out-of-the-box thinking as well. There's, when I'm on my developer side and you go to a municipality with kind of a out-of-the-box idea, there's many places that will just shut it down, and you've always entertained all sorts of thinking. And so that creativity and that culture of not saying no, I think has been so important, and it's, the evidence has materialized, so thank you for everything. And lastly, I think the thing I appreciated the most is how when it can get heated out there, you're always super calm. And I sometimes will look at you and I'll be like, okay, Rob's not upset, it's okay. So thanks for leading and showing us the way.
Thank you. Trustee Orsic?
Ditto what they've said, and when I got on the council, I knew you a little bit before, and when I got on the council and knew nothing, I realized how very much you knew, the depth of your knowledge for anything that might come up, and you're so happy to share it. And to echo what the others have said, no matter what crazy thing someone is saying, like, your look never changes. You're never like, no. You are always respectful and nodding as if, what a great idea. And then, like, maybe later you'll be like, well, there's some reasons that might be difficult to implement. But it really keeps everything very positive, and with people feeling that they will be heard no matter what. And our village is much better since you've been here, and I'm so grateful for everything I've learned, and so grateful that I didn't have to know that much because you knew so much that we could just feel confident when we were talking to you that, okay, if Rob thinks this is right, this is the right way to go. So thank you.
Trustee Albinson?
Rob, thank you. I've had my short tenure here. I've learned immensely from you. For everybody in the room, I think everybody knows what a masterclass Rob has implemented in terms of managing processes, bringing on the best team, just in keeping this a slow, steady, calm, cool, and strong hand in every aspect of your job. And it does show, and I echo all the other comments, and I really want to commend you on building such a strong team at the village, right? I mean, we're giving you all these accolades, but the reality is you were instrumental in bringing on everybody that came in the room, the folks that are in the village, and what a testament to how strong this village is, just from a smooth, operational, and just a healthy culture. Albeit, I think everybody maybe is a chip off your block in terms of their work ethic and their dedication to the village, so maybe we can work a little bit in making sure everyone's got a good work-life balance. But I would say it's well appreciated, and thank you.
Trustee Handler?
Well, last but not least here, well, I do, of course, have to echo all the eloquent ideas that my colleagues have shared. Just a couple additional ones. You know, I'm amazed at how the resolution really captures 15 years, that would be hard to do. But the one thing that isn't mentioned in there is also your, I think, your reputation and your role with other village managers, as those connections have been so important, I think, to sharing ideas and bringing ideas to Winnetka and to other communities. I also just want to put a little thanks out to Anne, because I think for probably your entire married life, she has shared you with not only our community, but with others, and that certainly is a sacrifice that we've all benefited from. On a personal level, I've certainly enjoyed working with you so much. I've lived in Winnetka a long time and valued all the services and the staff that we have, but until I became a trustee, I didn't have a full appreciation of what it really takes to run this village, and you have done such a stellar job, along with, as everybody's mentioned, the team that's here and everybody who's not. So thank you, Rob.
Okay. Where is Ann? Ann, can you stand up? And thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. I would say that one of the first pieces of information that I received upon learning I'd be assuming this position was that he was going to retire. Like, well, welcome to this position. And I've grown over the last, 8+ years to respect Rob, enjoy Rob, but over the past several months, really appreciate Rob. I feel very confident in that person over there is going to succeed Rob. I will tell you that. Thereover, I will miss your steady guidance, just like everyone else will here. And I know there's another president in the room that's probably going to make a few comments. It's really comforting to be able to call a person like Rob, and I fully expect a person like Kristen, and just be able to bounce the ideas, get a sense of what the heck's going on, what are the paths here, and just have your feet on the ground, because you really need that. I think all the trustees need that, and we all need that in this position. So I just feel very fortunate to have worked with you for as long as we have, and I know you have an exciting next few chapters ahead. I believe that. I'm looking forward to hearing about it, and you won't be a stranger. So with that, I'd like to, our village manager would like to say something. Our village.
I am not the village manager.
I've done that before. Our village attorney would like to say something.
So before the department heads do their thing, I wanted to just briefly say two things. One, Rob is, from a village attorney standpoint, a great village manager. And what a village attorney wants is a partner with the village manager administrator, and Rob has been that to the T. So I thank him for that. I did want to, beyond that, I can't go very far. Like, I can't say Rob's the best village manager I've ever worked with.
Not saying that.
You should know that on the right side of the room are several very accomplished administrators
You are correct.
from around the room, many of whom are or were our clients. But the fact that they're here, it's very rare that this group of municipal managers and administrators are together in a public meeting. The fact that they're here, this esteemed group, honoring you, says enough, a lot about your service and your management.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Peter. Now, is this public comment, Kristen, or what do we have here?
This is public comment.
We're opening up public comment. Would anyone in the room like to make public comment on this topic?
And we're starting with the department head team.
Okay.
On behalf of the entire department head team, both current and past, it is my privilege to offer our heartfelt thanks and congratulations to you, Rob. Tonight, we honor not only the conclusion of an extraordinary career, but also a legacy of leadership that has shaped this village and all of us who have had the privilege to serve with you. Your leadership has been defined by integrity, wisdom, and unwavering resolve. Through times of challenge and times of growth, you have provided vision and clarity, ensuring that our village remains strong, resilient, and proactive. You brought out the best in your team by listening, encouraging, and empowering us to lead in our own right. One of your greatest gifts to us has been your ability to cultivate collaboration. You reminded us many times that no department is a silo, that the strength of this team comes from working together in service to the community. That shared commitment will endure long after your retirement, woven into the culture that you helped create. We are especially grateful for the trust you placed in us. That trust challenged us to persevere, to take ownership, and to innovate. In doing so, you not only transmit this village greater and more beautiful, but also prepared future leaders to carry your example forward. As you begin this next chapter, know that your impact will continue to be felt in every decision we make, every service we provide, and every success we collectively achieve. You leave behind not just accomplishments, but a legacy of character and commitment that will inspire us for years to come. Thank you, Rob, for your leadership, your dedication, and your unwavering service to the village of Winnetka. We extend our deepest gratitude and warmest wishes to you as you embark on this well-deserved retirement.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Go team.
Would anyone else in the audience like to make public comment on this topic? Please come forward, introduce yourself. Thank you for coming tonight.
Good evening.
We have a 3-minute limit.
Oh, I'm happy. Village President Dearborn, I take that very seriously, and thank you so much to the Village Council for a few moments. I'm not sure who we're talking about tonight, but it's entirely too glowing. I'm not sure who this Rob Bahan is, but I am Phil Corrali. I'm the village manager in your neighboring community of Glencoe, and I'm here on behalf of the Illinois City-County Management Association. I am the immediate past president of that association. I'm also here on my own behalf as a neighbor, and I'd like to start just real briefly by saying I am taking my life in my hands right now, because we were just discussing over there that it is the cardinal sin among village managers to ever speak at any of our colleagues' meetings, because all we're doing is elongating the meeting. But it's a special occasion. It's a special occasion. I wanted to start just off by saying Rob is everything that you all said. Trustee Albinson, I think from the master class perspective, to use your comment a moment ago, we're all going to try to learn from Rob on how he convinced all of you that he did all of the things that were in that resolution. We all want to know how to do that. Thank you, Rob.
You have to retire.
Rob is one of those people that when you pick up the phone, he always answers it. He always is there to give advice, whether it's career advice, whether it's what to do with this crazy zoning issue that I don't understand and I'm not sure what to do next. He always was willing to take a few minutes out of his already incredibly busy schedule to be a partner to other village and city managers. And as an individual who's had the benefit of having Rob as a next-door neighbor now for almost 12 years that I've been in Glencoe, I can't think of a time that I tried to call you, Rob, that either you didn't pick up immediately or you called me back within the first 5 minutes after I left you a voicemail. And I just want you to know how much that means. As the representative of our statewide association of city managers, tonight, I just want to underscore why that is so important. It is not easy work being village and city managers. We don't say that because we're seeking any sort of sympathy or any sort of aw shucks. It's important, difficult work, and it's taxing. It takes a lot out of us. What makes it easier is the fact that we have each other. And that we can rely on one another. And Rob, you have always been one of those people to all of us sitting here in the room tonight and many, many others throughout all the communities that you have been privileged to serve and have had the privilege of your service. So I just want to make mention on behalf of the ILCMA board and specifically Paula Schumacher, the president of ILCMA, we have made a donation in your name to the ICMA Fund for the Profession. This is a fund that goes to support council manager initiatives around the country and the world. We can't think of a better way to celebrate your lifetime of service, and thank you so much for all you've done, Rob.
Thank you, Phil.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Johnson, the Deputy Superintendent of New Trier High School, and I come on behalf of Peter Tragos and New Trier, our superintendent, to share my congratulations with Rob as well. And I also echo Phil's sentiment, having sat in your seats for hundreds of school board meetings. I do not like to elongate meetings, but this is a time that deserves it. So in my role as Deputy Superintendent, I've had the chance to work with Rob on a number of projects that have strengthened both New Trier and the village of Winnetka. Winnetka holds a special place for New Trier. It's home to our oldest and largest campus, and I know the relationship between the village and the school district is something both our board and the village council truly value, and one that has been well maintained thanks to Rob's leadership. Rob was instrumental in guiding us through two major renovations mentioned earlier at our Winnetka campus, the 2018 West Side project and the 2023 East Side project. Those projects gave New Trier its first new classrooms in more than 60 years and set us up to meet the needs of future generations of New Trier students. We also partnered on the Village Stormwater Project, where Rob helped shape an agreement that not only worked for the benefit of the school district and the neighboring village, but also the residents of the village. Through all this, Rob was steady, collaborative, and innovative. He listened, looked for solutions, and always kept the bigger picture in mind. His impact will be felt for years to come by New Trier students and Winnetka residents alike. On behalf of New Trier, I want to thank Rob for his leadership and wish him the best in his next chapter.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for being here.
I have just a little gift of New Trier swag, and as you know from around town, if you want a different color, different size, everything is an option. So, thank you. I'll
Try it on and let you know. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for being here. We appreciate that. Would anyone else like to make any public comment? Yes. Please come and introduce yourself.
Yes. Name and address, please.
No address needed, just your name, please.
I'll stick to the rules for once in my life. I'm Chris Rentz from 1175 Spruce Street here in Winnetka. I didn't prepare any comments. I mean, how do you prepare comments for somebody who you've known 15 years, you know? And what I can say is I was in the room where it happened. And it was an amazing time in this village's history, and where we ended up was even more amazing. I'll never forget sitting in that room and you know, the seven of us, the village president at that time, plus the 6 trustees, you know, we were wrestling with the candidates and really went back and forth. And I'll never forget, it was one morning, I was sitting right there, Rob sat right there. We shook hands, we talked, and when I walked out of that meeting, I knew that we were looking at something really different. Now remember, you know, back in the early 2000s, you know, Winnetka was at the end of a cycle. We had really been happening for many, many years, and, you know, the decline had started. The town was looking a bit tattered. A lot of the things that we were doing as a village corporation were kind of old school too. You know, there wasn't a lot of streamlining going on here, and not a lot of information exchanged with the public and all sorts of stuff of that nature. And when we walked out of this interview, the one thing I did know is that by bringing Rob on, we were going in a completely different direction. You know, let's face it, trustees, we all come here, we don't know anything about government, right? So you had 7 of us trying to figure out all the technical capacities of a new village manager. But I think, Scott, you said it, the competence. You know, no matter what we asked Rob, no matter how he responded, there was always just this comfort that he knew the answer. And sure enough, again, I'll back up a second. I've been fortunate enough to work with Rob for 11 years at this dais. And I'll tell you, I've had a lot of really interesting and positive work relationships in my life, but none of them have been to the level of excellence and camaraderie that I've enjoyed with Rob. It has just been amazing. This man has moved us in such a great direction. And you know, most of the people out in the public, they don't realize it, because maybe they see a sidewalk get cleaned up or they see all the construction going on, but they don't really know what's going on. And the cool thing about Rob, council wanted to deal with policy, okay, he'd serve that up. Council wanted to deal with infrastructure, he'd serve that up. You all know, some of you know, that Rob's a taskmaster. And every Wednesday, Thursday, that agenda would show up, and sure enough, he'd be cramming more down the pipe so that we'd have to deal with it. But he recognized where we needed to go and how we had to get there. And of course, we had our moments, especially over agenda, because I'm one of those people who believes we should be out of here by 10 o'clock. So, but nonetheless, watching him work as a professional, I mean, I was in awe many, many times. The knowledge this man has of his profession and his industry is second to none. I can say it, Peter, because none of these guys are my clients. So, and I've worked with a lot of village managers over my career, and I will say unequivocally, he's the best damn village manager I have ever met. And Rob Bahan, thank you so much for your work here in this town, and thank you so much for your friendship.
Something new to me there, 10 o'clock? What is it, 10 o'clock? All right, former trustee Kripe.
Thank you. Andy Kripe, 548 Maple Street. Rob, I just wanted to say thank you. I want to echo what Chris said. Early on, I should actually back up. I've been watching or attending village meetings for about 15 years straight. It's kind of the worst channel on YouTube. You're boring. But Rob, if people had any idea how much work and thought you put into everything that happens in this village, it would be stunning to them. You know, whether it's before a meeting, calling the trustees to say, did you get the packet? Have you read the packet? Do you understand the packet? Are you on planet Earth? Let me, let me assess your mental state here. Let me, I would say, of all the clients, if I ranked you among my clients, you run the best organization I've ever seen by far. The way you run it, the people that work with you, it's stunning. And the thing that I think is so critical is you manage to unlock that incremental bit of extra effort that everybody has in them, but you're not going to get it by pounding on them. People, they give more because you're giving more. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for your friendship, and I saw you as a mentor. Early on when I joined the council, and Scott joined the council all those years ago, we had a lot of what I would call the torch and pitchfork meetings. They were they're a little spicy. And Rob was always super calm, super reassuring. I never would have done more than one term. I certainly wouldn't have done 4 terms if it hadn't been for Rob. So thank you, and thanks for the pattern you've set in motion here in Winnetka. And I think the best thing all of you can do is to try to keep that going and to not screw it up. I think that's the best thing that our residents can do as well. Again, they'll never have any idea of all the great things you did, but those of us that worked with you, we do know.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you. Okay, would anyone else like to make any comments, pro or con, about this guy right here? Seeing none, I will close public comment. Rob, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, sure. Other than being completely overwhelmed, thank you very much for your kind comments and your friendship and support over the years. To see the department head group here, what a surprise. Thank you for coming. Those of you that have had a chance to work with me before, we worked together on so many things. It was a real privilege. For those that are still here on the team, keep doing the great work. You're excellent at what you do. And it's been a real honor to be able to serve with you. To see so many friends and colleagues in the audience, I was looking out, I was trying to remember a council meeting where there were so many friendly faces. There's usually one, maybe zero, but to have a whole room full of friendly faces is truly remarkable. So it's been my honor to serve as village manager, but for the members of the council here, some of the, just wanted to note, you have managers, current and former managers from Northbrook, Highland Park, Skokie, Deerfield, Wilmette, Elmhurst, Brookfield, Glencoe, Lake Bluff, and Lake Forest. What a great group. Thank you so much. Your collaboration and your support over the years has been super important to me. Couldn't have done the work without being able to have these connections and that support, so thank you. You know, it's a little bittersweet to come to this moment. There's always things left on the table that you'd like to get done, but there comes a point where you realize it's time to pass it on to the next person. And our next person, Kristen Kazinas, our next village manager, is going to do a great job. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your friendship, your support. It's been a real privilege and an honor to serve as village manager of Winnetka. So thank you very much.
No, we're not done yet. We've still got 45 minutes till 9. Well, this is really a great evening, and thank you all for coming. We all appreciate it. He obviously appreciates it. It's very meaningful. We're all one community, after all, so it's great to see all the managers and former faces from the past. It's great to see everyone and the present people here, too. So it's a great evening, bittersweet for sure. So we'll move on. Old business, we have none. New business, we have none. Appointments, we have none. Closed session, we have none. And when we adjourn, please stay around, chit-chat. What's that? Coffee and cake. Kristen, is that right? Coffee and cake. Okay, great. We'll celebrate a little longer. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
And that's a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you all.
Somebody's got to sign a plat, Mr. President.